Happy holidays and welcome to This is Public Broadcasting. I'm your host, Captain Rutlidge. You know, some years it's fun to put together a big Christmas episode for you guys, but other years I just need to sit down, relax, and take things easy. And there's no better way to kick back than with watching a few Christmas specials. You know, in the past, I did a countdown list of PBS Kids Christmas specials, and this year, I think it's high time I did another countdown. And this time, how about a British comedy Christmas?
You're watching PBS?
Hey, I'm as surprised as you, but I've stumbled upon the most delicious British sitcom.
Over the years on PBS stations, a number of sitcoms from the BBC and ITV made their way to America via Time Life, Granada, and BBC Worldwide. Then, with annual December pledge drives, a few of these shows' Christmas specials were available for viewing by American audiences. And many years before that lame excuse of a British television channel that the BBC America is. And again, in honor of the 12 Days of Christmas, we will look at the top 12 British comedy Christmas specials. So, sit back, grab a cup of cocoa or a glass of sherry, and let's get going. Number 12. Peep Show, Seasonal Beatings. Starring Robert Webb and David Mitchell, this episode of Peep Show features Mitchell's Mark and Webb's Jez preparing for Christmas lunch with Mark's family, including his flirtatious sister and abrasive father. The charm of Peep Show not only comes from its POV shooting style, but also the characters of Mark and Jez. Mark is spineless and passive-aggressive, while Jez is incompetent and childish. Add in Mark's dysfunctional family and you have a true Christmas treat. Kudos to Mark's father, whom we really grow to despise throughout the episode, and truly root for Mark as he finally stands up to him.
You want ham? Well, you're gonna get ham. See how you like this ham?
Somebody stop him, he's gone totally mad.
It's admittedly low on this list due to some strong language and substance references, but it's still a decent Christmas special to start out our list.
Jeremy, turn on Ratatouille. Sarah, crack open the Pictionary. Merry Christmas, everyone!
Number 11. Knowing Me, Knowing You. Knowing Me, Knowing You was the first TV series to prominently feature Steve Coogan's character of Alan Partridge, an incompetent and self-obsessed TV presenter operating his own TV morning talk show. In this Christmas episode, Alan lands himself in hot water with the BBC over his excessive brand endorsements and unintentionally insults the majority of his guests. The special and series itself served to parody talk shows and TV personalities in their vapidness and vanity, Alan Partridge himself encapsulating these qualities. Add in some humorous malapropisms, and we have Christmas gold.
Oh! Do you want some? Hey! I'm hungry! I'm hungry! Do you want some?
No, thank you.
Number 10. Last of the Summer Wine. Now we escape to the Yorkshire Dales to enjoy Christmas with the old men of Holmfirth. Campo, Clegg, Foggy, Seymour, et al. During its 3 decades on British television, Last of the Summer Wine aired some 23 Christmas specials, all of which tend to reflect on the fading holiday spirit in one's older days. Small Tune on a Penny Wassel reflects on this, with Foggy's strictly scheduled holiday and Campo just wanting a bit of fun, and Whoops has the trio hoping to reconnect with old friends for the holidays. One of my personal favorites is What's Santa Brought for Nora Then?, where Campo tries raising money to buy Nora Batty a nice Christmas present. There are several others worth watching, so have a peruse for yourself. Find your favorite.
Well, I knew we'd never make it. Let's face it, Christmas is compulsory.
Number 9. Bottom. Holy. Earlier we discussed 2 dysfunctional roommates with Peep Show. Now, imagine a similar show but with two of the most despicable, unlikable misfits that are somehow enjoyable to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, Bottom. As Christmas approaches, Richie and Eddie try and get into the Yuletide spirit. Richie making an atrocious Christmas dinner, and Eddie drinking all of the alcohol in the flat. However, the chance arrival of a foundling at their door puts their seemingly disastrous Christmas into a better light. Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson had worked together for years prior to creating Bottom, so their on-screen chemistry, or rather negative chemistry, is perfected to a T. And quite unexpectedly from a British comedy production, we are treated with a litany of farts, sex jokes, and full-on cartoonish violence to round out a chaotic half hour. Shall we say, Merry Bloody Christmas?
Merry bloody Christmas!
Number 8. Upstart Crow, a Christmas Crow. Set in Elizabethan England, Upstart Crow focuses on the daily life of William Shakespeare, played by David Mitchell, as he works in London alongside his servant Bottom, his landlady's daughter Kate, and his best friend Christopher Marlowe, and his home light in Stratford-upon-Avon, with his wife Anne, parents John and Mary, and children Susanna, Judith, and Hamnet. In this Christmas episode, Will invites Kate and Marlowe to spend Christmas with his family in Stratford, ahead of a Christmas meeting with Queen Elizabeth, while Will's rival, Sir Robert Greene, plots the Upstart Crow's downfall. As with most Ben Elton-penned sitcoms, Upstart Crow had a rocky first 2 seasons. Only with the second half of season 2 and this Christmas special did things start to turn around for the show as a whole. First off, David Mitchell plays a highly relatable yet charming version of William Shakespeare, fairly similar to what the Bard would have probably been like in real life. A talented playwright in London just trying to support his family back in Stratford. And the Christmas theme works well in the overall episode plot, with Will's Christmas gift to his wife being a heartfelt poem, and later using the same poem at his wife's insistence to appease the Queen. On the whole, the episode is pretty well rounded, and although Will and Company would feature in 2 further Christmas specials, this one is by and large the best and deserving of a spot on the list.
12th Night? It's got a lovely ring to it, hasn't it?
Might shelve it for a few years anyway. Not sure the world's ready for a non-gender specific trans comedy yet.
Number 7. Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean. Obviously a favorite of many people, this special sees Mr. Bean celebrating the Christmas season with shopping, writing Christmas cards, preparing Christmas dinner, and opening presents with his girlfriend. But did he get the correct present for her? What can be said about Mr. Bean that hasn't already been said before? Mr. Bean's childlike innocence plays well into the Christmas theme, from his misbehavior while department store shopping to his messing around with the charity band and helping raise money. By and large, though, Rowan Atkinson's physical comedy goes leaps and bounds, obviously in the scene with the massive turkey, but what else can be said about a special starring a weirdo who says so little?
Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean.
Number 6. Porridge No Way Out. It's Christmas at Slade Prison, and while Fletcher aims to get himself sent to the infirmary for Christmas, he instead finds himself roped into an escape attempt by another prisoner, along with the prospect of Christmas being cancelled by Mr. McKay. One common aspect seen throughout the run of Porridge is that the prisoners at Slade are truly the ones in charge, Fletcher, a career criminal, being a prime example. Furthermore, the prisoners tend to be more upright and moral than their overseers, especially the Machiavellian Mr. Mackey. These dynamics are perfectly evident in No Way Out. Although Fletcher is a bit of a scoundrel, we do empathize with him wanting to have some semblance of Christmas behind bars. And when Mr. Mackey tries to pull the plug on Christmas festivities, it makes it all the more satisfying to see him foiled by Fletcher and company. Even the prison doctor is a bit of a scumbag, making it all the more satisfying to see Fletcher get his own against him in the end. It may be an episode behind bars, but feel free to give it a watch.
Well, I'll see you later then, Fletcher.
Yeah. In due course, son.
I'll send you a get well slowly card.
Number 5. Steptoe and Son, A Perfect Christmas. 10 years before Sanford and Son took America by storm, one dirty old man and his pretentious son made the rounds in homes across the UK. Harold and Albert Steptoe make plans in this episode for Christmas abroad. Albert is hesitant about leaving England, but Harold's insistence forces him to pick a holiday, and then locate his birth certificate somewhere in the house. Both Harold and Albert Steptoe are fairly irredeemable characters, much like Mark and Jez or Richie and Eddie, but watching them take verbal stabs at each other creates a rather amusing half hour, or 45 minutes in this episode's case. The episode is filled with hints as to Harold and Albert's rocky father-son relationship, through Albert never knowing his father and Harold living through the Blitz as a child. The ending, though, is truly unexpected, yet satisfying, and so I dare not mention it here. Watch it for yourself to see what I mean.
I remember when I was 10-year-old, Mum didn't half cry when the Muffin Man died.
Number 4. The Two Ronnies. The Two Ronnies used to be one of the most popular British comedy shows on PBS back in the 70s and 80s, rivaled only by Monty Python's Flying Circus. And you better believe that these two had a handsome quartet of Christmas specials for viewers each December. Over their 16-year run on BBC One, Ronnie Corbett and Ronnie Barker produced a total of 4 Christmas specials: 1973's Old-Fashioned Christmas Mystery, their 1982 Christmas special, the 1984 special, and their final special and episode overall, the 1987 special featuring Elton John.
And it seems to me you live your life like a candle in the wind.
All 4 have their own highlights, from a Klondike Christmas and a Chaz and Dave Christmas parody to the horror movie sequel to Disney's Pinocchio. My personal favorite, though, is the 1973 Old-Fashioned Mystery Special, with its Victorian takes on several Two Ronnies staples like the news headlines and Ronnie Corbett's monologues. It's up to you to pick your favorite, but nothing makes Christmas like a few innuendos, spoonerisms, and casual sexism.
The Catering Council has promised that in 1985, the Sage and Onion Bullet will become generally available. This means, of course, you'll be able to shoot the turkey and stuff it at the same time.
Number 3. The Vicar of Dibley. Much like the Two Ronnies, Vicar of Dibley itself had 4 Christmas specials to its name from 1996 to 2007. We see Vicar Geraldine Granger putting up with the antics of Dibley's eccentric locals, from attending multiple Christmas lunches and organizing a live nativity, to delivering a drunk midnight mass and finally getting a happy ending for herself. Very seldom do we see the liturgical side of Christmas, but Vicar of Dibley adds a little humor to what goes on behind the scenes of Sunday service, along with working in the current event of female clergy being admitted to the Anglican Church. Geraldine, played by the great Dawn French herself, is the most charismatic lead and helps us laugh along to her many Christmas antics alongside the ditzy verger Alice Tinker, the pompous David Horton and his half-wit son Hugo, the dull Frank, the foul-mouthed Owen, and the dithering Jim, among others. Each Christmas special serves as a comedy of errors, from Geraldine getting overstuffed at Christmas time and Alice giving birth during the live nativity, to Geraldine embarrassing herself at a Christmas party and falling in love with a newcomer to Dibley. Each episode is great fun to watch, and I encourage each of you to watch them for yourselves.
And you've come to audition for...
The King.
Of course, there were 3 kings, and you are obviously one of them.
That's right.
Who's next?
It's Jim. He's come as one of the kings as well.
Well, I hope it isn't Martin Luther King.
He says he'll come back later.
Number 2. Blackadder's Christmas Carol. Set in the historical world of Blackadder, this Christmas special involves Ebenezer Blackadder, the kindest man in all of London. Kind to a fault. On Christmas Eve, Ebenezer is visited by the ghost of Christmas, and sees the Christmas escapades of his mean ancestors, Edmund Lord Blackadder and Mr. Blackadder, butler to the Prince of Wales. along with his future descendant and Baldric.
For God's sake, Baldric, if you're going to wear that ridiculous jockstrap, at least keep your legs together. We'll go, Skipper!
Meanwhile, Queen Victoria and Prince Albert are set to reward the kindest man in London. At its heart, A Christmas Carol was about a mean old miser seeing the error of his ways and turning good. This special, however, turns that premise on its head, with a sweet, kind, toothless shop owner turning into a foul, rude, vindictive sadist. And it's as entertaining as heck. Ebenezer Blackadder is a perfect antithesis to not only Ebenezer Scrooge, but also his ancestors. And come the end where he morphs into his family legacy, it is kind of heartbreaking to see him shutting out all the people who took advantage of his kind state, even when they offered thanks to him. As for the flashbacks, rather than go the easy way with the clip show, the Blackadder creators decided to revisit both the Elizabethan and Georgian eras of Blackadder, with all new scenes created especially for this episode. All the actors are still in top form. Rowan Atkinson, Tony Robinson, Miranda Richardson, Stephen Fry, and Hugh Laurie all returned for another historical romp. By far one of the standout characters, though, is Jim Broadbent as Prince Albert, a doddering, forgetful old fool with a heart of gold.
Christmas without surprises is like the nuts without a nutcracker. Which is why I have bought you this surprise nutcracker. Damn!
I'm finished gushing about it. Now, it's your turn.
Here, have a wishbone. What do you wish?
I wish there was some meat on this.
Before we get to number one, a couple quick honorable mentions.
We're all together.
That's right. We're here for you. Whatever you need.
Thank you, darling. Could I maybe stay the night?
No.
Okay. Is it Christmas yet? No. Is it Christmas yet?
Go to sleep. Somewhere else. Well, there won't be a present tomorrow.
Number one. Only Fools and Horses. Yep, really can't get away from putting the Trotters at number one. Can you blame me? From 1981 until 2003, families across the UK and the world welcomed the Trotter clan into their homes each Christmas, enjoying Del Boy's antics and Rodney's overall plonkerness. From eating Granddad's disgusting Christmas turkey to diamond smuggling, and Del getting engaged to a trip to Miami gone wrong, almost every Christmas special offers something special. But which specials are the must-watch ones? Well, that entirely depends on your knowledge of the show, and whether you have watched any episodes before. For those new to the show, the earlier specials, like Christmas Crackers and Thicker Than Water, are a perfect choice. Christmas Crackers shows an average Christmas in the Trotter household, while Thicker Than Water sees the boys meeting up with their lazy, absentee father. Of these two, I tend to enjoy Thicker Than Water more, partially for the exploration of Del and his father's relationship, not to mention the final appearance of Granddad before the passing of Leonard Pierce. As for longtime fans who can list off quotes out of thin air, the Jolly Boys outing is an excellent choice, seeing the gang from the Nag's Head have a day out in Margate. The scene of everybody having fun on the beachfront is enough to make anybody forget their troubles, and then remember them again after Del accidentally blows up their bus. The shining example of Only Fools and Horses Christmas is the 1996 Christmas trilogy. Del, Rodney, and Uncle Albert trudge onwards through victory, loss, and finally coming out on top. The trilogy is a whole roller coaster of emotions, from the fast-fire comedy of heroes and villains, to the crushing blows of modern men, and finally the satisfying conclusion in Time on Our Hands. Despite being labeled the Christmas trilogy, these 3 episodes can pretty much be enjoyed any day of the year. The same could be said about many of their Christmas specials. I think that's why I put Only Fools and Horses so highly on this list. However, for all those who haven't yet watched this series, I highly recommend it. Nothing else to call it except lovely jubbly. And before we wrap things up today, I figure it's only right to pull another name out of the pretty straw hat for the PBS member station spotlight. Now, let's see who we get this time. Southern California, PBS SoCal. PBS SoCal is a station brand name of KOCE TV Huntington Beach. The station came on the airwaves in 1972 to serve Orange County with 4 hours of programming each day courtesy of Coast Community College District, and serving as a secondary PBS member station. In 2002, Coast put KOCE up for sale, and a fierce bidding war occurred between the Daystar Television Network and community members that had created the KOCE TV Foundation. KOCE TV Foundation won the bid, but Daystar took the case to court. In 2007, after years of appeals and lawsuits, KOCE TV Foundation was allowed to keep the station in exchange for broadcasting Daystar programming on the DT3 subchannel. After KCET ended its association with PBS in 2011, KOCE joined forces with KLCS Los Angeles and KVCR San Bernardino to create PBS SoCal, sharing former KCET programs. Then in 2018, KCET Link Media Group and KOCE TV announced a merger, creating the new company Public Media Group of Southern California. Programming for KOCE includes local programs such as the nightly newscast Real Orange and Actors on Actors, alongside KCET originals like Artbound, SoCal Wanderer, and Broken Bread with Roy Choi. Furthermore, the station helps produce In Concert at the Hollywood Bowl for national broadcast on PBS member stations. Today, KOCE TV and PBS SoCal bring PBS programming to the whole of the Los Angeles metropolitan area, with further cable and satellite reception in the surrounding area. If you're in Southern California, you can tune in to PBS SoCal on Channel 50, with Daystar on the .3 channel, World on the .4 channel, and PBS Kids on the .5 channel. Well, thank you once again to everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, feel free to like, subscribe, and share, ring the bell, follow on Twitter. Also, don't forget to support your local PBS stations. Some more programming related to these great British sitcoms can find its way to your television screens. And until next time, I'm Captain Rutlidge. Happy holidays.